What's up, everyone? I hung out with a lot of people last night. We were doing some barbecue, which didn't really work out that well because chicken took forever to cook. And so I came back. We started at 6 or 5, and then we managed to get all of the food and groceries by 8:30. We ended up getting pizza and pork jowl and chicken from 3 different places, and then some pastries and whatnots. And then it took 2 hours to grill and cook and eat everything. And we opened a bottle of Chardonnay, which I opened because other people did not know how to open it. And I was busy arranging everything because I just being able to organize things and figure out how to do things in a procedural efficient manner. So I was having people wash and cut the mushrooms and cucumbers. We got some lettuce, and we had someone cut up the pork and chicken, all sorts of things. So I actually have been thinking about the next topic for my video for a while. I think it's very important for people with bipolar disorder, or also known as manic depressive. It's really important for everyone around them and for you yourself to understand what a manic episode is. I really was considering just having a kind of reminiscing or recall, storytelling of my previous manic episodes, but I feel that's a little triggering and traumatic, and it's not my favorite thing. I don't really talk about them that often. So instead, I think what I can do is go about this in a more academic way. So I just wanted to do a general overview of what a manic episode is categorized. I just do it off the top of my head, and then I'll try to make another one that's a little bit more formal and stuff. So typically when you're diagnosed with manic depressive episodes, the only difference between bipolar and depression or anxiety is that manic episode. And typically the first few manic episodes are not seen as crazy or anything, but typically what it's categorized, the main symptom is lack of sleep for 3 to a few weeks. Obviously if you sleep less than if you sleep for not very well for a few weeks, you're pretty much gonna die or go crazy. But in this case, you feel you don't need the sleep, and that's very concerning because you sleep less than 3 or 5 hours for a week or 2. You have all this energy to do all these sorts of stuff that all of a sudden you're thinking about. You start all these projects, you're spending impulsively. You might have increased sex drive, or so financially it'll be bad. Health-wise, it could be bad. You could be making dangerous decisions, and a lot of the times you'll have something kind of flow of consciousness or something. It's kind of where you you start like spitting things at like the top of your head, and you just like keep talking like non-stop. Like you can't stop talking and you can't stop sharing your thoughts, and your speech is considered like pressured or like very like fast. I don't know if I might have like a video out there for some of you, but you'll definitely, your thoughts will be very, very jumbled. So you'll start saying like, you'll be like easily distractible, like, oh, that's blue. It's like, oh, it's really hot. Oh, it's really cold. They like stop very suddenly. You won't be able to like concentrate on anything. Like having like a thought, like it just like comes up and then it disappears, and then another thought comes. So typically that's what is considered like kind of like a manic episode. I think there's like a strict criteria of like, oh, you must fulfill like 3 or like 5, at least 5 of like the 12 symptoms, and it must also coincide with like lack of sleep, increased energy, and like less coherent thoughts or whatever. So the reason why manic depressive episode is only considered is diagnosed after you have a manic episode is because if you're depressed, if you're depressed, you can still have bipolar. You definitely can still have bipolar. You can be on like antidepressants or antipsychotics. If you are diagnosed as depressed, you always still have that possibility of being diagnosed as bipolar. The only thing you need to get that diagnosis of bipolar is that one manic episode. It doesn't even have to be intense. So my first manic episode, I was like super anxious. I didn't sleep for like a few days to like almost a week. I was like acting strangely. It was like a ton of new stressors. I had just moved cities, moved like apartments, had like went to college, didn't talk to any of my friends, new classes, new environment, like new everything. And my mom had like stressed me out by saying she's gonna like pull me out of college because I didn't like answer a few of her calls, and she like went up to my dorm room and like tried to find me, and I was like out, so she was gonna come back another time and like literally like have them like drop me from a class, and I'd never be able to go to college again. Yeah, so after that I was diagnosed with bipolar, and that diagnosis sticks with you really, really hard. A lot of psychiatrists will be very like set on like, okay, this is depression and this is bipolar. If you've experienced anything similar to a manic episode, or if one person said it's a manic episode, then we're going to forever categorize you as that. In my mind, it's not like that. With psychiatry and like mental health issues, those kind of things like blend together. I don't know if like people are just like trying to like name symptoms or whatever, and they've gotten a lot better with like diagnosing like the brain itself, but it's pretty much all self-reported. So like if someone says like, oh, they're acting strangely, but the person's saying like, oh, she's acting like normal, she's just like really stressed, one person could be like, okay, like she's like sleeping way too little, she has too much energy, she's like trying to start all these new things. And then another person would be like, oh, she's trying to like cope, she's unable to sleep, she has anxiety, she wants to try all these new things because she feels stuck. Those two different things are really hard to make just like one simple diagnosis. Like literally bipolar disorder is like, it's supposed to encompass all this stuff, right? Like, and I know I have bipolar disorder, or I've been categorized that, but those like 2 words, they're literally just 2 words. Like, how is that going to explain like, okay, you know, I had PTSD from my mom, I had depression, I have crying spells, I oversleep, I get fat, I you know, like all of these things do not define what I am or even my mental illness, to the point of someone can just be like, okay, you don't need this specific medication, because medication is also very very like personalized. Each person reacts super differently to like a certain medication. So I know some people who are like on ADHD medications, and sometimes they like eat more, or like antidepressants. Usually you'll sleep more, eat more. Sometimes they'll help you be less anxious, but sometimes they won't make you be less anxious. They'll make you be more depressed, or sleep more, or sometimes they'll cause nausea, like vomiting, headaches, or sometimes they won't cause any of that, you know? So just as like every person's mind and mental state and mental health is going through a different journey, the medication also affects you differently. So yeah, I think that's it. I actually I'm meeting my friend for college, so I'm really excited for that. I know for a lot of people, they may not have gone to college or may not have friends that they really enjoy spending time with. I think even just like going outside, like I'm literally at the park right now, I think it really helps me, and it's supposed to help like everyone, so yeah, it helps everyone with just like getting out of their head. If you have a park nearby, I really recommend it. Okay, so that is my lesson on what a manic episode is. I tried to add a few more stuff, but that's it for now. Thank you. Bye.